All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're opening up the PMO playbook to talk about something that is, without a doubt, the foundation for success, and that is building awareness. So let's start with a really honest question. How do people in your organization see your PMO? Are you the go-to strategic partner, the team that helps make things happen? Or are you the project police? The ones with the clipboards and the red tape? It's a tough question, but the answer almost always comes down to how well you've built awareness. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. The end goal is for the PMO to be seen as absolutely indispensable, a critical resource. And the path to get there? It's all about effective, strategic awareness building. It's how you shift that perception from being just another cost center to a genuine value driver. So, how do we do it? Well, we start by building something I like to call the value flywheel. And I really want you to grab onto this idea, because awareness isn't just about sending a few emails or putting up some posters. It is the first, most critical push that gets that entire value engine turning. So what do we actually mean by awareness building? Let's put a definition on it. It's a continuous process. It's all about making sure people know your PMO exists, what you're capable of, and most importantly, the value you bring to the table, day in and day out. And here's a huge trap that so many PMOs fall into. They treat awareness like a big bang launch, a one-time event. But it's just not. You can't just send out a memo and call it a day. It has to be this constant, sustained effort if you want to stay top of mind. Think about it this way. You've got this massive, heavy flywheel. Getting it to move from a standstill takes a huge amount of effort, right? That first push is the hardest. That's awareness building. But once it starts turning, every other push, every service you offer, every success you deliver, it all adds to the momentum, making it spin faster and easier. So why are we putting in all this work? Well, the goals here are incredibly strategic. You're not just making noise for the sake of it. You are actively shaping how people perceive the PMO, you're getting their buy-in, you're making it easier for teams to collaborate with you, you're setting realistic expectations, and all of that leads to the ultimate prize, positioning the PMO as a real strategic partner in the business. Okay, so that's the why. It's pretty compelling, right? Now let's get into the how. We're going to shift from theory to practice with a straightforward 5-step action plan. Here it is. This is your roadmap. It's a simple but really powerful 5-step framework. Number 1, identify your customers. 2, establish your touchpoints. 3, educate on value. 4, measure how effective you are. And finally, number 5, continuously improve. Let's break each one of these down. First things first, you have to know who you're talking to. And this is way more than just looking at an org chart. You've got to segment your customers. What are their needs? What's their level of project maturity? Who holds the influence? You need to understand these power dynamics to know who you really need to win over. Okay, next up, establishing touchpoints. This is all about creating a steady rhythm of communication. For example, maybe you have a monthly newsletter that goes out to everybody with general updates and tips. But for your executives, you host a quarterly town hall to get that crucial face-to-face feedback. And for leadership, a deep dive annual report showing your impact. Every channel has its own purpose and its own audience. Now, the absolute key to making this work is consistency and, this is so important, two-way communication. This can't be a one-way broadcast where the PMO just shouts into the void. It has to be a conversation. You need to be listening just as much, if not more, than you are talking. Step 3 is where you really start to educate people on your value. You have to show, not just tell. So you build out a library of helpful templates and guides. You offer training, and you share success stories backed up with real data. A fantastic tactic here is to launch a PMO ambassador program. Let your biggest fans and your most successful customers tell your story for you. All right, this brings us to a really critical piece of the puzzle, measuring your true impact. You see, it's one thing to be busy doing things, but it's another thing entirely to be proving that those things are making a difference. This is where you make your case. And to do that, you need a smart mix of metrics. On one side, you have your quantitative data, the hard numbers. How many people are using your services? What are your email open rates? But that only tells part of the story. You also need the qualitative stuff. How do people feel about the PMO? What's the quality of the feedback you're getting? You need both to see the complete picture. And all of this great data you're collecting, it feeds directly into the final step: continuously improve. This isn't set it and forget it, it's a loop. You take what you learn from the data, you adjust your approach, and you get better. This is what keeps that value flywheel spinning faster and gaining more and more momentum over time. So, we've walked through the whole 5-step plan. Now, how do you actually apply this to your own PMO, like right now? Well, let's start with a really simple and effective tool. Yep, the 5-point self-assessment. This is designed to be a quick, practical gut check to help you figure out exactly where your PMO stands today when it comes to building awareness. So I want you to really think about this for a second. Based on everything we just talked about, where does your PMO stand? Are you really seen as that strategic partner, or are you still struggling to get your voice heard? Okay, let's boil this all down to the key takeaways. First, and I can't see this enough, awareness is a continuous flywheel, not a one-and-done campaign. Second, that 5-step plan is your practical roadmap to get there. And third, measurement isn't optional. It's how you prove your value and fuel that continuous improvement. And I'll leave you with this final thought. Let's say you do all this. You've built awareness, people know who you are, they know what you do. That's fantastic. But the job isn't done. Because the very next question you have to answer is, what do your customers actually need? And answering that, well, that's the next powerful turn of the flywheel.